Hello everyone, Mr. Money1235 back here yet again. Sooner than I thought, but I actually have time to do this, so I thought I would go and show off my entire music collection again. It's been a few years since I've done one of these, actually. Gotten quite a lot of new stuff, especially in the vinyl category. So I thought I would go through all of that stuff with you guys. Get this from the video last night. A Debut Doors album. Just picked this up last night. Really like it a lot, so that's the first one. But yeah, let's just go ahead and jump right into this. This is going to be a long video, so. Alright. Starting off, Beatles rock and roll music. It's a good one. Good compilation of some of their most rocking songs. The Twist and Shout, Saw Her Standing There, You Can't Do That, I Want to Be Your Man, I Call Your Name, Boys, Long Tall Sally. Really, really good track listing, really unique looking cover art with the thumbs. I think this compilation came out sometime in the 70s, but it's a really good one. I like it a lot. Going on from there is the new Coldplay album, Everyday Life. I actually really, really like this album a lot. Probably one of my favorites of last year, for sure. I just really, really love the mood of this album. Kind of depressing, a little bit sad. I think it's Coldplay's first double album, which still underneath an hour long, which is kind of funny, but it's a really good album. I love it a lot. Probably my favorite since Head Full of Dreams. People don't like Head Full of Dreams that much, but I really like that album. The most recent Coldplay albums have all been pretty big winners for me personally. Some people don't agree, but oh yeah, I found this at a record store in Atlanta when I was visiting a friend down there. The Beatles, the Decca tapes. It's a picture disc. Really, really unique. Has some tracks they used to do in the cavern. A lot of live sounding recordings on this thing. It's pretty unique. I haven't seen anything like it before, so I picked it up while I was down there. Sounds pretty cool. Beatles Decca tapes. This is a Vinyl Me Please pressing of Philip Glass solo piano. Very, very chill album. Nothing but literally the title of the album. It's solo piano work. Very very classical, very down-tuned, a little depressing in a way, but like I said, it's a Vinyl Me Please exclusive pressing. I like it a lot because it's pressed on glass. Well, not glass, but the style is it's a pure, clear white vinyl. It's supposed to mimic the glass or whatever, the last name of the artist. I don't know, but I really like it. It's a good album for when you're just kind of hanging out by yourself in a dimly lit room chilling. I've got the fluorescents on now so you can actually see the albums, but Hot Rocks, Rolling Stones, it's like their greatest hits from 1964 to 71, which is personally my favorite era of the Rolling Stones. So this is just kind of like a greatest hits collection of all of their big hits. You can see the track listing there. I definitely recommend it if you're not going to be listening to or collecting main Rolling Stones album. I still think this is the best one so far. I've got some other greatest hits Rolling Stones, but there's another album that I want to get by the Rolling Stones. You'll see most of them in this video, but I really like Between the Buttons, that Rolling Stones album. It was kind of their intro into the psychedelic era before they put out that Satanic Majesty's Request or whatever, that Sgt. Pepper looking rip-off album cover they had. Let's see. Best of Muddy Waters. Just wanted to try to delve my foot into some good old blues. So I got some Muddy Waters there. Wanted to check that out. I thought it was pretty cheap, so I got it. One of the better debut rock and roll albums of all time, some would say. Buddy Holly and the Chirping Crickets. A lot of people like to compare this one to Please Please Me a whole lot. It's like the 50s Please Please Me. It's ranked pretty high up there among the Buddy Holly fans. I like it a lot, for sure. This is the super ultra special edition of Panic at the Disco's Pretty Odd. This thing is massive. It's really going to be really hard to show this thing off. But the album is right there in the sleeve. I got this used, so it's a little beat up. Rolls down like that. Lyrics inside there. The band's in the center. Ah! It's really, really cool. Really, really neat. It's there's a fucking puzzle in here, and the albums are on CD, and there's a DVD on the making of the album. It's falling apart! 2 seconds. This thing is like a fucking puzzle in itself. Oh shit. Anyway, this is personally my favorite Panic at the Disco album. I know people still kind of hate on it a little bit. Even the band themselves don't seem to really acknowledge this album that much, which I think is a real shame. Because, I don't know. It's super creative. It's really, really the Beatles-y, kind of. The later Beatles stuff. A certificate of authenticity fell out of this thing. I don't know. I really like it. I just wanted to have this. It's really cool. It's my favorite Panic at the Disco album. I don't know. Just had to have it. This is the newest Vinyl Me Please thing. Well, not the newest. This is the Songs for the Deaf by Queens of the Stone Age. The new Vinyl Me Please repressing. It's a classic. Absolute rock and roll classic. I had to have it. I signed up for Vinyl Me Please just to get this for the 3-month subscription, so I don't know. As a bonus, I'm just going to take the other 3 months. I've already canceled. I just really, really wanted to have this. If Vinyl Me Please comes out with something else that I really, really need. I remember when they put out that Demon Days repressing. That's what made me go to them a long time ago there, too. This is actually probably one of the newest ones as well from Vinyl Me Please. Loretta Lynn. Coal Miner's Daughter. Nothing beats old country. You gotta have the old country. This is an amazing album, too. Just some really, really, really good tracks on this thing. Really enjoyable album. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Gotta get that good old country music. That's when it was the best. Commodores, found this really cheap. Super funky, really, really dancey and disco-y. I think it's a lot of fun, this Commodores album. Yeah, Midnight Magic. I found this super cheap. I think I got this thing for like $2 or something, but it doesn't even skip or anything. It sounds great. I really like it a lot. It's a fun, fun album. Greatest hits of Anne Murray. Don't be hating. Stewie from Family Guy. He likes a little bit of Anne Murray. I like a little bit of Anne Murray. She's got some good songs. We got Snowbird. There's a Beatles cover on this thing, You Won't See Me, from Rubber Soul. It's really, really good. If You Needed Me. I don't know. I personally like it. I personally like it. Make fun of me if you want to, but I think it's pretty good. Speaking about the old country, this is Hank Williams. The Health and Happiness Recordings is a radio show that was on in the 40s. And him and his band were a guest for a few consecutive days, helped host a little bit. His wife at the time is also singing on this album a little bit, some. But it's really good if you like Hank Williams. There's a few other Hank Williams vinyl that are going to pop up in this video. But check that out. Steely Dan's Can't Buy a Thrill. I'm a pretty big Steely Dan fan. I like a lot of their stuff. This album is a lot of fun. One of their best debut albums in classic rock. But yeah, Steely Dan, man. The jazz fusion, such creative individuals. I really, really like Steely Dan a whole lot. This is one of my absolute favorites in their discography. Asia as well. I think I have Katy Lied as well. I think that's going to pop up in this video. Turtles Happy Together. Got this vaguely cheap at $7. It's pretty good. I have this on CD as well. Just another great 60s album. Happy Together and She'd Rather Be With Me. That's their most well-known song. So Happy Together. Love it. This is Out of the Blue by Electric Light Orchestra. Their double album. Amazing track list on there. Really, really good stuff. Really good stuff. This is Booker T and the MGs, the best of. They're probably most known for their song Green Onions. Most of their stuff is purely instrumental. But Green Onions was a pretty prominent song in American Graffiti. That's the one movie I remember that song being featured. But Booker T and the MGs, once again, kind of a good album to just chill out to. I like to have a good selection of chill out, listen to music while you're browsing the internet kind of albums. I'd like to get a few Meters records as well for that exact same reason. I like me some instrumental albums too, man. You don't need words. You don't need words. This is a creative one. This Rainforest by Walter Wanderley. It's a Brazilian. He's a Brazilian organist, and man, just such a unique sound on this record. A lot of YouTubers, especially Your Movie Sucks, likes to use the Summer Samba, the opening song on this album, in his videos. And it's colorful, it's creative, it's a lot of fun. Another good chill-out album. Some parts of this are a little bit dancey, too. A little bit of bossa nova kind of thrown in there in a way. I love the album cover, and it just sounds great. Just sounds amazing. Check out some Summer Samba by Walter Wanderley. Type that into YouTube when you get done watching this video. Tell me if you've heard that song before, without even knowing it. Best of Jerry Lee Lewis. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. This is Jerry Reed, talking about a little bit of that country music. Probably most known for that, Eastbound and down, roll 'em up and truckin' from Smokey and the Bandit, if y'all remember that movie. I was not born yet, but I know that movie. This is All Over the World by Electric Light Orchestra. Kind of a good best of collection, even though I personally prefer Electric Light Orchestra's albums. This is a good album if you just want to get to the straight dancey songs and don't want to mess with some of the slower jams on their albums. But it's still a vaguely good collection. There's a few songs that I would like to add to this thing, but it's good. It's good. One of my favorite ELO albums, once again. We got a New World record. This is a brand new copy as well, so I try to keep this one pretty fresh. This is an amazing album, probably my second, sometimes my absolute favorite. It's between this and Discovery. Keeps bouncing back and forth. Out of the Blue is really up there as well. I love ELO. Lots of fun music. Speaking of which, here's Discovery on vinyl. My copy of it here skips, though. I don't really play it a whole lot, unfortunately. I just wanted to have it because I love the album cover, and it's one of my favorite ELO albums of all time. The Beatles of the 70s, that's what I call them. So, ELO! Here's Bad Bad Not Good. This is their album 4. I would like to have more Bad Bad Not Good albums, but this was just a Vinyl Me Please pressing that I got sometime early last year. It's a good album. I like a lot of Bad Bad Not Good albums. This is especially side A of this record I fucking love. But Bad Bad Not Good. Really, really good band. Check them out. This was kind of a waste of money. I don't really like this. This Country Meets the Blues. It's, I don't know. I tried to turn some of these really good country songs into blues jams, and I don't think it turned out that well. I got this album as an experiment. I didn't pay that much for it. Don't check this one out, though. I might sell that. That's Flirtin' with Disaster by Molly Hatchet, just a southern rock band. Y'all guys know them pretty well, probably for the title track. I'm traveling down the road and I'm burdened with disaster. Pretty good stuff. Oh yeah, this is the Flying Burrito Brothers. Yes, yes. The last of the Red Hot Burritos. They kind of got a little bit of bluegrass, a little bit of country, a little bit of straight up rock and roll. Flying Burrito Brothers, really creative act from the 70s. Pretty good stuff on this one. This is Jack White's Lazaretto. I did not enjoy this album as much as, I did not enjoy Boarding House Reach that much. I got a text, I was reading it. But I really love this album. This is that special LP, that one that has like the angel that's floating on the other side of it. That Ultra LP that has all the weird things happening to it. I really like this album a lot, though. Really like it a lot. It's probably one of my favorite solo Jack White things he's ever done. This is Best of Hank Williams, once again. A lot of Hank Williams is going to appear on this thing just because I really like Hank Williams Sr. He was probably one of America's first great superstars when it comes to celebrities and all that. In the 40s, you know, that was a new concept in the 40s. So, yeah, great songwriter, amazing. Here's once another one. This is the 24 greatest. This is an even bigger version of what I just showed you. A lot more songs on it. I like this one a lot better than what I just showed you. And I got one more for you. I just picked this up when I was in Nashville because they really like to throw his name around a lot in Nashville since he was a part of that whole Grand Ole Opry thing for a while, and it's pretty awesome. Smokey and the Bandit soundtrack. Speaking of that, eastbound down, roll them up in truckin'. Pretty good songs on here. If you like the movie, you'd like this. This is Asleep at the Wheel, Collision Course. Asleep at the Wheel is a Texas swing band. They really got some good songs on here. A little bit of jazz mixed in too, along with their stuff. Really creative outfit. I really like their stuff a lot. I like their Bob Willis and the Texas Playboys covers album that they did as well. I think I have that on CD. You might see that later, but yeah, this is pretty good as well in itself. It's a little falling apart, but it still sounds pretty good. Johnny Cash, greatest hits. Everybody needs to have a little bit of a Johnny Cash in their collection, I think. This is Gene Autry. A little bit more older country music for you guys. Don't know a ton about him, but I really like this album. This is Hank Williams on the Radio, 1949. This is like the version of that Health and Happiness Recordings double LP that I showed you guys, except a little bit more condensed down, this record here. Sounds really good. A lot of Hank Williams live stuff. This is the Now Now. Of course, gotta have the Now Now. This is the blue pressing from the box set. This is a copy of The Fall from Record Store Day. Kept it in the shrink just to not damage the LP. It's on the translucent forest green vinyl. This was the only thing that I was really clamoring for Record Store Day last year, and I got a copy of it, so I'm pretty happy with it. I'm trying to keep it safe. I know it's not going to be mint condition, but I'm just trying to not screw up the album itself. We're going backwards because it's chronologically when I look at it on my end. But here's Humans. It's just the standard Humans album on Gatefold. Plastic Beach. It's the daytime cover, but it's still just the standard 16-track listing for the vinyl. I really love this album. You guys know that. Why am I saying that? This is the Gorillaz Demon Days Vinyl Me Please repressing. I wish I could get an original like some of the collectors I see on the internet, but I'm just not going to be that lucky. I'm happy to have this, though. Sounds great. I wish the transitions were there, though. That's the only thing keeping me from listening to the vinyl copy of it, is there's no transition between Dirty Harry and Feel Good Inc. and Don't Get Lost in Heaven and Demon Days. The CD copy just flows so much better than the vinyl copy. And then, of course, the debut album. Pretty great. It only goes the Ed Case remix of Clint Eastwood for track 16. It doesn't have Left Hand Suzuki Method or Dracula or anything like that, like on the US CD copy. But, you know, it's still the standard album pretty much, and I love it a lot. This is Demulicious. This was one of the highest things that I wanted of Record Store Day that year. Just Dookie 5 versions of the trilogy songs from Uno, Dos, and Tre. It's pretty highly collectible. This is on a red vinyl. It's sounds really good. I'm not going to take the time to take out all the records. It's going to take too long. We got a lot to cover here. There's a Revolution Radio on vinyl. Pretty good, pretty good. It's not one of my favorite Green Day albums. I don't really listen to this one a lot, but I have it on vinyl. Copy of American Idiot on vinyl. I love it. Gotta have it. One of their best albums of all time. It's a classic, modern day classic. Another Record Store Day release, Tune in Tokyo by Green Day. A live Green Day album, but it features a lot of songs from the Warning album. I think that's when this was recorded in 2000 sometime or something like that. Really, really good, because you don't really hear a lot of these songs live anymore, so that's kind of a cool reason to have this one. It starts on Church on Sunday, and they play Castaway, which is one of my favorite songs from Warning, with Blood, Sex, and Booze, King for a Day, Waiting, Minority, and Macy's Day Parade. That's the track listing for this thing. Really, really good. Really, really cool. Very unique. This was the newest thing, Green Day Live, Woodstock 1994. This was pretty important for Record Store Day for me as well. Pretty great, their set list from Woodstock. Pretty awesome. This was one of my newer things from Vinyl Me Please, Let It Bleed by the Rolling Stones. Kind of more of their, kind of a acoustic, country-ish Rolling Stones album. If there was going to be one, I think it would be Let It Bleed. Give Me Shelter on here. Midnight Rambler, one of my favorite Rolling Stones songs. One of my favorite Rolling Stones albums, Exile on Main Street, their double album. It's a classic, absolute classic, gotta have it. This is Still Life, Rolling Stones live record. Shattered, they played Shattered on here, another one of my favorite Rolling Stones songs. The Big Hiss, Green Grass and High Tides. Just another greatest hits Rolling Stones album. Even though I think the Hot Rocks is better. This is Some Girls by the Rolling Stones. One of my favorite Rolling Stones albums from their 1970s output. Really, really great record the whole way through. These Rolling Stones legit albums I'm showing you guys. And now we're getting into the Floyd. Here's Dark Side of the Moon. Once again, absolute classic. Everyone has to have it. This is Animals. Some people argue their greatest album of all time. I beg to differ. I mean, I love Animals, okay? I love this album. I own a copy of it, for God's sake. But I don't think it's their greatest album, personally. I think it's still really good. Still really enjoyable listen. It's not one of my favorite things of all time. I would consider this to be better than Animals. This is Metal by Pink Floyd. Love this album. The whole thing. A lot of fun. Amazing record from back to front. Absolutely love it. Up there with Dark Side for me. This is Wish You Were Here. Once again, absolute classic. Gotta have it. And ending out my Pink Floyd with, goddamn. What the fucking hell? Adam Hartmother. Why the hell could I not remember that for a second? But yeah, Adam Hartmother. Love this album from beginning to end too. I hate that the Pink Floyd themselves kind of hates on this album. The intro song is one of my favorite favorite songs from Pink Floyd personally. It's really, really long, but it's really creative and really cool. I really like Adam Hartmother quite a lot. Alrighty. This is the Beatles' second album. I have no idea why it's in a shrink. This album is beat to hell. I think I bought it inside this thing. But it's pretty good American album. I don't listen to the American copies of Beatles albums that much. I normally stick with the UK pressings, personally. There's some US albums. The US Rubber Soul I consider to be one of the best Beatles albums ever, because I like that it starts on I've Just Seen a Face, and has It's Only Love on there. It makes it sound more like a folk album, which I think is what John Lennon, who was inspired by Bob Dylan at the time, was more going for. So I feel like the Capitol release, you know, what opens on Drive My Car, I feel like opening the U.S. one on I've Just Seen a Face makes more sense. So I like the U.S. Rubber Soul. I need to have a copy of that on vinyl. I have it on CD, I just don't have it on vinyl. This is the greatest hits John Lennon record, Shaved Fish. Just a lot of greatest hits of John Lennon's solo songs. It's pretty good. There's an American Hard Day's Night. Don't really listen to this a ton. I think that someone gave this to me. But, yeah, soundtrack to the film. Got a few instrumental cuts on there. I personally, once again, prefer the UK Hard Day's Night, of course. Copy of the Red Album. Just their greatest hits of their early years. Don't listen to it a lot, but they're good to have. This is Herman Hermits on Tour. I believe this was Herman Hermits' U.S. second album. The track listing is really, really good. If you probably recognize a few of the songs on there. But, yeah. Can't You Hear My Heartbeat? Henry VIII I Am. I love a lot of Herman's Hermits album. They are a bit of a kiddie band, but they do have some good songs, man. And this is their U.S. first album, introducing Herman's Hermits. This is the one that has Something Tells Me I'm Into Something Good. Beatles featuring Tony Sheridan. And once again, just a bunch of really old Beatles songs from their cavern days. Copy of Hey Jude, another U.S. Beatles album. Pretty great. Copy of Introducing the Beatles on VJ Records. Just listen to Please Please Me, it's better. One of my favorite U.S. Beatles albums, Yesterday and Today. This one's really, really good. Just an amazing track listing. That's why I like Yesterday and Today so much. Really great mix of old and new songs. There's a U.S. Help copy. A few instrumental cuts on there. Just listen to the UK Help, it's better. This is The Magic Whip by Blur. The newest Blur album came out in 2015, I believe. I really hope we can get some more Blur music in the future, because it's deserved. It's just an oddity that I found. Just a remix album from Blur's Great Escape. It's like a remix record of Entertain Me, I believe, that song. I just bought it because I don't see Blur stuff in the wild that often. Oh yeah, this was the special release that they did for Parklife's 20th anniversary, the Live at the BBC. Just a tiny record of them playing two songs on each side. Side A is Girls and Boys, and track 2 is Jubilee, and then the other side, side B, is Trouble in the Message Center and Lot 105. They just played 4 songs from Parklife live at the BBC, and this is a record of that. I wish they did more to celebrate the release of that album other than just that. Copy of Modern Life is Rubbish on vinyl. My girlfriend, well, wife now, she got this for me when we were still dating. One of my favorite Blur albums, personally, so I'm happy to have it. I don't have a lot of Blur on vinyl, but happy to have those. Physical Graffiti by Led Zeppelin. One of my favorite Led Zeppelin albums of all time. This is also their double album. So, got the White Album by the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti, Exile on Main Street by the Rolling Stones. 3 absolute classic double albums. And you could say Out of the Blue by ELO. I don't consider Blonde on Blonde a classic. Not a huge Bob Dylan fan. I do not know why. This is Led Zeppelin 4, classic. Gotta have it. Led Zeppelin 2, my personal absolute number 1 favorite Led Zeppelin album. The track listing is absolute perfect to me. Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys, absolute classic. Gotta have it. Super Hits by the Beach Boys. Honestly, I listened to a Greatest Hits Beach Boys album and Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys, and I am good on the Beach Boys. Don't listen to a ton of Beach Boys, but I have those. There's a copy of Talkie Walkie by Air. I really love Air. Not enough people know about this French duo, but they play really chill, electronic, awesome music. My favorite albums from Air, not including this one, would be Love 2, Moon Safari, and Pocket Symphony. Those 3 albums. Check out those 3 albums from Air. You're doing a disservice if you don't know those 3 albums from Air. Okay. Hell yes! DJ Shadow with Introducing, one of the best sample-based classical albums of all time. Gotta listen to Introducing. I'm happy to have this on vinyl. It's an absolute classic. Subtract, Wonder Where We Land. Really good kind of electronic album. I don't listen to a lot of newer electronic albums on vinyl. I do have a few, but I don't know. You're just listening to a CD copy when you buy newer music on vinyl. This is Super 8 by the Upsetters. Very reggae dub album. If you really like Lake I Come Home from Gorillaz, that remix album, this is another album that's filled with stuff like that. I like me a little bit of reggae now, you know. I don't partake in the 420 festivities, but if I did, I'm prepared for it with a copy of Super Ape right here. Awesome. Oh, here's a classic. Headhunters by Herbie Hancock. What a funky 70s fuck this is. Man, this is a great album. The song Chameleon, classic. Who, you gotta have it. You gotta have it. You gotta have it. Thriller, Michael Jackson. You gotta have it. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. There we go. There's Asia by Steely Dan. It's hard for me to pick between this album and Can't Buy a Thrill for my favorite Steely Dan album. Still probably this one. But Steely Dan's so good. So good. Oh, look at that. There it is. Katy Lied by Steely Dan. Probably my least favorite of the 3 that I mentioned, but still pretty good. Still pretty good. Casey and the Sunshine Band, if you really want to get down with some disco. Do a little dance. Make a little love. Get down tonight. Get down tonight. Oh, here we go. Days of Future Past by the Moody Blues. Nights in White Satin. So good. Really, really chill. Very emotional record, Moody Blues. Really make you feel. The Australian Jazz Quartet. I just heard this playing at a record store, and I walked up to the guy and was like, "Can I buy that, what you're playing?" And he said yes. And I know nothing about this, but I like some jazz. And this is another great jazz album. Oh my God, this was a classic. Donald Byrd, Spaces and Places. They have a song, Donald Byrd, they play a song called You and Music in Grand Theft Auto 5 on one of the radio stations, and this is the album that song comes from. And the whole thing is just as awesome as that song. So if you've heard that playing Grand Theft Auto 5, check out this album. Spaces and Places by Donald Byrd. It's awesome. Awesome jazz funk fusion kind of album. It's great. Haha! Bossa Nova by Quincy Jones. This has the Soul Bossa Nova on side A. Most people know that song as the Austin Powers theme song. That's where this comes from. And it's a great album. Great Bossa Nova album. Oh my God. Oh, this one's a classic. Stan Getz. Oh my God. This was a great, great record. Down the land of walking, the girlfriend and the pinnacles walking. Sexy. Sexy jazz. Good jazz. Fucking great record. Carole King's Tapestry. This one's kind of a classic. I feel the earth move under my feet. Great album. Great album. Sills and Crofts. Another 70s album. Summer Breeze makes me feel fine. Pretty good. Really, really chill album. Speaking of chill, here's Bread. Bread, Guitar Man by Bread. Man, I picked this album up knowing absolutely nothing about Bread. And this whole thing, man, freaking awesome album. I'm actually going to name my future kids after a song of theirs. They have a song called Aubrey. And I really like that name. If I ever have a little girl or something like that, she's going to be named Aubrey. And I'm going to tell her, you're named after a Bread song. And she'll be like, who? Like everyone else, when I tell them, you ever heard of Bread? And they'll be like, I like to eat bread. And I'll be like, nah. All right, here we go. Pure Gold by Elvis. Just a really great collection of Elvis songs. Elvis has so much different compilations and records and just so many ways to screw up his track listing. But there's some really great songs. Kentucky Rain, Jailhouse Rock, Don't Be Cruel, I Got a Woman, All Shook Up, In the Ghetto, Love Me Tender. They're all on this album. Great collection of good Elvis songs. Sun Sessions by Elvis. This is a great collection. That's Alright Mama. Blue Moon of Kentucky, I Don't Care If the Sun Don't Shine. Yeah, Let's Play House. Some great songs by Elvis on this thing. Really, really great recording. Those Sun Sessions, man. The Sun collection, Sun Records, put out some great stuff back in the day. Whoops. We're getting light. Elvis Christmas album. I don't know. You just gotta have it. Blue, blue, blue Christmas. Collection of Queen's greatest hits. Picked this up soon after I saw Bohemian Rhapsody, just because I don't own a ton of Queen. This is a pretty decent collection. There's a few songs I would add on there. A good old-fashioned Lover Boy is probably one of my favorite Queen songs. Canned Heat. Good 60s blues, dirty blues rock. Canned Heat. I'm going up the country, where you wanna go. It's funny, that's their greatest hits. That's their greatest hit, Going Up the Country, but that song sounds like hardly anything like their other stuff. It's kind of funny. Sting, The Dream of the Blue Turtles. I'm a big Sting fan, especially the Police. I love the Police. So I've been meaning to get into a little bit more of Sting solo stuff. I did have his greatest hits on CDs. My parents did anyway. If you love someone, set them free. Just a fucking awesome song. Fields of Gold. When We Dance. Some sexy, sexy music. Make love to your girl and listen to When We Dance on the TV at the same time. Y'all are going to have a romantic ass night. American Graffiti soundtrack on vinyl. Great collection of American Graffiti's, the songs that feature in American Graffiti. Lots of really, really late 50s, early 60s highlights on that thing. Really, really good collection. Oh man, that's a classic Steve Miller Band, Fly Like an Eagle. I'm remembering things as I show them to you that I own that I haven't listened to in a while. And this is fucking amazing album. So many great hits on this thing. The Fly Like an Eagle, Serenade, Dance, 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 Mercury Blues. Alan Jackson kind of made that song even more famous. Take the Money and Run, Rockin' Me, they're all on Fly Like an Eagle. One of ZZ Top's most famous ones, Eliminator. I really like a little bit of ZZ Top. I don't listen to a ton of ZZ Top, but I really like that album a lot. This is Deep Purple, Machine Head. Absolute classic rock album. 70s. Highway Star. Smoke on the Water. Great. The only Frank Zappa I own, Hot Rats. I know this is a pretty big one. I don't know a ton about Frank Zappa, but I really do like this album a lot. A lot of really insane fucking guitar licks on this thing. Fucking creative as hell. Really good. Classic. Paranoid by Black Sabbath. This was also a Vinyl Me Please copy that I got. Absolute classic. I need to get more into the... I like Black Sabbath's first album as well. But Paranoid there. Left Overture by Kansas. Carry on my wayward son. I don't really like this album that much, though. I like Carry On My Wayward Son, obviously, but the rest of the album I can't really get into it that much, sadly. Yeah, this 38 Special, Wide-Eyed Southern Boys, that's a great album cover. Just hold on loosely, but don't let go. Yeah, that's their big hit on this one. Good stuff. A best of Chuck Berry, you really can't go wrong. This is about all the Chuck Berry I need right here. Look at that fucking song list. It's a great collection. Great collection. Chuck Berry songs. Really, really good. A newer one, Thick Freakness by the Black Keys. Something about having a really, really old Black Keys album on vinyl just makes the fuzziness even fuzzier, and it's awesome. I wouldn't mind getting Rubber Factory on vinyl either, but I really like Thick Freakness. I think I pretty much have every Black Keys album except for like maybe 2 of them. I don't have Attack and Release because I do not give a shit for that album whatsoever. Boston's debut. Once again, it's in every single vinyl records collection. You just gotta have it. You just gotta have it. It's an absolute fucking classic. Perfect track listing. Perfect. Pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd, the first debut album from Lynyrd Skynyrd. I would like to have a copy of this and also a copy of Second Helping, their second album. I would like to get that as well, but this one is really, really good. Got Tuesday's Gone, Give Me 3 Steps, Simple Man, and Freebird on it. Those are the big hits. But a copy of Second Helping would be good just so I could say that I have Sweet Home Alabama on a vinyl record. Whatever. And ending it off kind of on a low note, well, for some people, I really like it. It's Greta Van Fleet's debut album, Anthem of the Peaceful Army. I got it because it seems like it was appropriate to have it on vinyl. I kind of haven't listened to these guys in a while since they actually put out this record. I really hope they change up something on their next album. So, well, that's pretty much it for the vinyl records here. There's a few miscellaneous things that I don't feel like showing. Okay, fine. I'll show it anyway. What are we at? 42 minutes already? Good God. Let me just get this down off the top real quick and we'll take a look at them just because they're fun. Let's see. Somebody commented about me not showing off this in the last time I did one of these record collection videos, so I will show off my Beatles and Mono box set again. Starting with Mono copy of Please Please Me. Don't try to take these out a ton. I do listen to them quite a lot, but yep. Please Please Me. This is the entire discography. With the Beatles, of course. One of my favorites. All standard UK album track listings. Just the Way God Intended. Just the way the Beatles intended, I mean. Hard Day's Night. Beatles for Sale. Yeah, they get caught on the fucking fold back covers and I get fucking terrified that they're gonna tear by pulling these out. Help! Chronological order, of course. I'm not a heathen. Rubber Revolver. Sgt. Pepper's. I wish they used a better cover for this. I think the colors could be a lot more vibrant on the mono copy of Sgt. Pepper's because it seems a little bit faded or washed out or something. Maybe it's to keep up with the whole theme of what they were trying to do with this box set, with the age and stuff, but still. Magical Mystery Tour, because I think that looks pretty colorful. I don't know. Great, great, great. These are all perfect albums, by the way. You know that. Maybe not this one. Submarine Soundtrack. I had to buy these separately, but I just stuck them in the box so that I could say that I have the full discography. I just had to make sure everything was in chronological order. And the White Album, of course. This is the Stereo Abbey Road from 2009. All of the other vinyl copies in here that didn't come in this mono box set is the stereo vinyl that came out in 2009 along with the CDs, just for clarification. And Let It Be. And then ending this out, that came in this box set, they're Mono Masters. It's a 3 LP set. Pretty good track listing. It's kind of like the Past Masters of this box set, even though Past Masters has a lot more tracks on it. This is still a pretty decent collection for me, personally, in this set. So I think it works. Because if I want to listen to anything else by them, I'll just listen to my CD copy of Past Masters. So anyway, that's it for the main vinyl. It's also a pretty epic Kaiway book in here. Pretty cool stuff. So yeah, that is pretty much the vinyl there. There's a few things that I also have that I don't really care to show off just because I plan on selling them. But that's the stuff that I listen to, that I own on vinyl. So anyway, thanks for checking this out. I know this was a nice long 45-minute video for you guys. I'm going to do a part 2. I was going to stick the CDs in here as well, but I think I'm going to come back and do another part 2 because this video is going to go on forever. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys really soon with a part 2 for the CDs. And we'll throw in the box sets as well. Mr. Bunny 1 2 3 5. I will see you guys later.